Great American Cleanup is underway in Oklahoma. We're here to learn all about it with our friend Jeanette Nance from Keep Oklahoma Beautiful. Great to see you.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
You are the executive director with Keep Oklahoma Beautiful, and I mentioned the Great American Cleanup going on. There's also Fresh Paint Days coming up. Lots of things going on, the various projects of Keep Oklahoma Beautiful.
Pretty busy.
But let's back up just a second and
Okay.
tell us about Keep Oklahoma Beautiful.
Keep Oklahoma Beautiful is a civic organization. We are a statewide organization that administrates programs and projects around the state. We invite our affiliates, which are member groups with us, to participate in programs. They're kind of that boots on the ground type thing. We administer. So we provide them the program, the idea, the supplies that they need to carry out, like in the Great American Cleanup. If you register with us, then you get free trash bags. And if you order them, safety vests, gloves, water for your volunteers. You choose a day, you choose a project, and you hold a cleanup. So.
And as I understand it, there's cost savings across the board for taxpayers. It saves the state some money because it's an effort perhaps that government workers aren't having to pursue.
Right, right. Miles and miles of roads are cleaned up and parks are picked up and landscaping is done in public areas by our community groups who are volunteers using free supplies supplied by our sponsors, and it all gets done for free, so we're defraying those taxpayer dollars because there's not a government worker out there doing what my volunteers are doing.
All right, so the Great American Cleanup is coming up. It's March 1st, I believe, through May 31st. Is that right?
Yes, through May 31st. Just the 3 months. You can register beginning in January.
She's mentioning the application. You can go to their website at keepoklahomabeautiful.com, which has more information and where you can apply. It's one of those things that if you have the tools, like a string trimmer or a mower or the bags, you can get some things done. But perhaps not everybody has those tools. They can come and say, hey, I need some help here cleaning up, or I want to volunteer and get cleaned up. Who all can apply, though?
Anyone. In fact, I delivered supplies recently to a gentleman who homeschools his children in the Tulsa area, and this is his second year to register with us, but he just takes his 5 children out in his neighborhood and does a cleanup, and so he registers with us to get those free supplies to get that done.
So if you're part of a civic organization, let's say you have a Girl Scout troop, you round up the little kids and go clean up an area,
Right.
You could say, hey, Jeanette, I have identified a need in my neighborhood. I've got a crew. What do you think? Is that sort of how it kind of works?
Sort of how
Okay.
Girl Scout troops, Boy Scout troops, 4-H clubs, some of our affiliates are municipalities, chambers of commerce, just neighborhood associations. One of our largest neighborhood initiatives is in Owasso, and they have up to 1,200 volunteers, and they hold several events during the Great American Cleanup.
So they get a lot of people involved.
Yeah.
We mentioned that it saves some money because the government workers might not have to be doing this, but you have a dollar amount attached to this. As far as the savings go,
Yes.
pretty significant.
In 2016, the Great American Cleanup in Oklahoma, there's some algorithm calculation that Keep America Beautiful provides us, and my projects coordinator, Natalie Evans, does, because math goes right across my head. But in 2016, we saved the state of Oklahoma $6.1 million in government work that our volunteers did.
It's a pretty significant amount.
It is.
We should also say Natalie is behind the camera right now. She ducked out of this interview saying she was going to take some social media pictures. There she is, though. We appreciate her being here. We mentioned you have various projects with Keep Oklahoma Beautiful. We've been talking about the Great American Cleanup, but you also have Fresh Paint Days coming up.
Fresh Paint Days is one of my favorite programs. Well, all of my programs are favorites. But I just love it because it changes the face of communities. We have a paint sponsor that provides the paint. We have a sponsor that provides the stipend for each community group that registers and is accepted for the free paint. Then we give them a stipend for the supplies to paint with.
Gotcha.
And they find the volunteers and they just paint. It can be a privately owned building, but it needs to have a public purpose. We've done some private residences, but one of my best stories about Fresh Paint Days was a small community. The town clerk called us and talked to us about it, and she said, I know this is a private property, but let me tell you why this should be considered for a Fresh Paint Days project. This little woman in her 80s, no family around, unkept house, needed paint badly. She said, this is the first residence you've seen driving in on the highway into town. It makes or breaks whether somebody stays here for lunch. And so we would like to clean it up, and we'd like to make it a community effort, and we want to apply for that paint. So we said that we would do that property, and we provided the paint and the stipend for the supplies. Then, kind of like that old commercial, and they told two friends and they told two friends. Somebody did landscaping. The local flower place gave them plants, and they fixed the roof, and they fixed the eaves on the house, and they painted the house, and just came and cleaned up the property. And now the community is aware of her, and they continue to take care of her, and it's all because of Fresh Paint Days. We did a historical building in El Reno where the woman who owned it was 92 years old. She had an upholstery store on the first floor and lived in the apartment on the second floor. It's a historical building because a Glenn Ford Western was filmed there. Cool. And a horse ran in the front door and up the stairs and off the balcony.
Of course.
But she's 92, she lives there, she works every morning down in her upholstery shop, but she couldn't afford to paint that huge brick 2-story building. And our affiliate in the area, the El Reno Chamber of Commerce, applied and found lots and lots of volunteers, including the Keep Oklahoma Beautiful staff, and we went and scraped and painted that building, and it just looked really great when it was done.
We're talking with Jeanette Nance, Executive Director of Keep Oklahoma Beautiful. It's amazing, even in your own home, you paint a room or you paint the outside of the house. It really is like you have a new home all of a sudden. It makes a big difference.
Right. Another piece of this program is that you take the before pictures, and that's what you send in with your application, how bad this looks. It's kind of like when you do a makeover.
Sure.
You take off all your makeup and you don't smile, right? So they take these pictures, and we have these before pictures, but they have to provide after pictures showing the paint job. And then we take those before and after pictures and put them on our social media and a voting website where the public gets to choose the 3 finalists, and then our paint sponsor chooses the winner out of those 3 finalists.
We should mention the paid sponsor, I believe, is still HIS Coatings. Is that correct?
It is, Joe Cox.
Okay, and good for them for helping out.
Oh, absolutely. And he hasn't let us down yet.
I want to say our reporter Josh Wallace has an accompanying story that you can find in addition to the Oklahoman. He interviewed Joe Cox with HIS Coatings, and they have a partnership with the city of Oklahoma City to use some recycled paint, maybe?
Yes, and that's the paint that he provides for ours. They take the surplus paint. Somebody orders a specific color, and they didn't use it all, and they returned it, or they didn't like it when they got it on the wall, so they returned it. So he's got this surplus paint, and it's not good to throw away paint, so they take it. It's good paint. It's just a different color,
right. And
then they spin it into different colors. He provides us, it varies from year to year, but 5 to 9 colors. Wow. And each project can choose 2, a lighter and a darker for a paint color and a trim. And to be able to participate in that before and after contest, you can only use the 2 colors that they provide. Some people choose to take those colors and in addition do a mural, but that makes them ineligible for that contest. So one of our winning projects one year, they took those colors and they painted a mural, but they used it with the darker paint. So they painted the building beige, and then they did this shadow mural of waving wheat and a scissor-tail flycatcher in the air, and it was just a beautiful mural, and it just said "Keeping Oklahoma Beautiful." That's not why they won, and we're not who votes. So, but it was a great project.
Creative people, always coming up with something cool.
Yeah.
All right, Jeanette Nance, we appreciate you stopping by today. And
thank
telling
you
us
for
about
having
it.
me.
And again, that's among the projects that Keep Oklahoma Beautiful has. You can find more information about the Great American Cleanup and Fresh Paint Days on their website at keepoklahomabeautiful.com. Jeanette, thanks so much.
Thank you.